So he could practice when he didn't have access to his real car, Alexander Cascatau needed a simulated version of his vehicle. Fortunately for him, BE Modding came to the rescue, and with some communication back and forth, they produced a new vehicle, the Norma M20 FC for Assetto Corsa. And what's good for you and me is that anyone can download and drive it. So in this video, I'm going to give the car a spin around the Nordschleife and let you know what I think of it. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a Wera 0.8mm Phillips head screwdriver drill bit. This video is sponsored by the Wera Christmas calendar. Behind every door is a different tool, Allen key and drill bit. Nothing lets you get quite into the Christmas spirit like the Wera Christmas calendar does. If you want the ultimate sim racing Christmas spirit toolkit, then check out the link in the video description. Okay, so we're inside the car, the Norma. There's nothing normal about this. You know, it's a prototype. The whole point is it's not normal. We've got a fire extinguisher there that's been signed off, so we know if the car catches into flames from driving into a wall or another vehicle, we will indeed have foam to put it out. That's always handy. We've got what looks like a ginormous knob in the cockpit, and I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about the brake bias lever. We've got the emergency cutoff, the map switch, ignition, fuel, all those things are very nice. They help the car start up. We've got brake pedals down the bottom. We've got a steering wheel with a Motec display. That's all you need. And we've got a Norma logo, which looks like some kind of deformed unicorn with a trident coming off its backside. I don't know what that's about. But look, the logo could be whatever it wants to be. As long as the car's good, the car's good. Now we're going to absolutely pony it around the Nordschleife because that is the best test of any vehicle in the world. Enough talking, let's get going. Now you have to give this a bit of a clutch slip out of the get-go, otherwise this happens. That's just not how you want to launch a race car, is it? That's just depressing. So you want to give it a bit of clutch slip it off. Happy times. Oh, here we go. Now we are, of course, in virtual reality. I'm using the Valve Index, which is still my favourite VR headset. Absolutely, just the field of view, the immersion you get from it is unparalleled. I'll compromise res a little bit for field of view any time of the day. Also, the comfort is amazing. But Valve Index Rift S, not Rift S, Valve Index Quest 2 comparison inbound. Watch the channel, subscribe and like for that. Oh, we got flow here. We are off. Now, obviously, I would say the internals of this car, the actual car model, could be a little bit more detailed. It's not the most detailed of car cockpits, but I'm looking out over the front of the car, and the cockpit interior's convincing enough, and the wheel details are there that when you look down at the wheel to see what RPM gear you're in VR, it's all clear and good. And you know, maybe the only thing I've changed with the internals of this car is on the dash. There's you can see the low poly. The model's quite low poly. And it sort of goes in a spike. So if the modding team could just add some more polygons there, I'd be a happy camper. But engine sound, we're going through the boring components first here. Engine sound, nice and clear, nice obvious tone, no annoying loop to it. Good job on the engine note there. And now the meat and potatoes. How is this handling? Well, as you can see, this is absolutely Velcro stuck to the road surface. As you kind of expect these kind of prototype vehicles. I mean, Radical SR3, Osella, and this, they're all the same kind of car. They have amazing high speed. They have really good downforce at high speed, but they also have a little bit of shuffle. And that's why I absolutely love these vehicles. This type of vehicle is my favourite class of vehicle. Perfect, absolutely perfect car for race driving. You know, not too expensive, still quite expensive, not ridiculously expensive. Place to put your tea bags in your shopping to your right when you go tea shopping. Might struggle going over sleeping policemen with this, but if you hit the sleeping policeman hard enough, you probably launch over the top of it. It's all fine. But for racing, you know, these cars, they've got the balance between grip, downforce, manoeuvrability, poke. Fantastic. Now, weirdly, in terms of the actual feel of this from its force feedback, when you drive this, the force feedback seems to ramp up very quickly. I don't know if it's because it was on purpose or if it was an accident with the mod. It feels a bit funky, I have to say. Though, in a weird way, it kind of gives the illusion of a bit of tyre flex feel to it, and in a sense, also makes it feel a bit more kind of R-Factor 2-y in a bizarre way. I'm not sure if it was on purpose, but as you turn, you feel like you've got that little. It almost feels like it's a little bit like there's too much filtering and delay on it, but then in a sense, it's also hooked up and very obvious. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like other AC cars have driven, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. As we go up the hill here, let's stay in 5th gear, car bogging down a bit. If you've ever been around the Nordschleife in real life, you'll realise why the car's bogged down. Because this track is so bloody steep. You can't... In VR, you can kind of sense that it's steep. But in real life, it's like, oh, it's like driving up a ski slope. And then down a ski slope. Oh, here we go. Oh dear. I think I caught the front of the car on the curb in there. Got away with it, though. That was weird. Let's try and hammer these corners. So it'll be really interesting to see with this car, for racing as well. We'll definitely have to do some racing with subscribers. Because these prototypey type vehicles, SR3 or Sella, this, tend to produce really good racing because they have quite a lot of draft, so that acts as an automatic catch-up. And then they're just so obvious and pliable that you get rewarded for attacking, but it's quite easy to avoid other cars and focus on the racecraft as opposed to focus on just the innate handling of the vehicle. Oh, come here, look at the graffiti all over the road. Trail breaking it through there. I've not tweaked the brake bias. I probably should move it a bit further backwards. It's a bit neutral at the moment, so we can see we're getting quite a bit of understeer through the corners, but nothing too crazy. I mean, I just love how pliable AC's tire model is as we go over the jump there. You get this real controllable slip in Assetto Corsa, which is so satisfying. And I don't know, to me, that is very realistic. In a sense, Jesus, that you've got that control at the limit. So even though in many ways AC's tire model, you can go, well, it's not as advanced and the slip angles are maybe a bit too big in terms of what you can get away with, and tyre temperatures aren't perfect or whatever, you know, all those things you can go, yeah, maybe that's the case. But the fundamental end drive then produces an approach that to me just seems what would be realistic. So I would take that over something that's technically more advanced but doesn't produce the same kind of general end drive. But there's the the Berg of Nurb, the castle. Berg is German for castle. It's the Nürburg. This is the Nürburgring. I'm confused. There's the cafe, Devil's Diner, the car park, and the start for the Torschwagen. And there's the never-ending straight here, and the reminder that we've got the wrong gear ratio. Thank you for that. I just want to do another lap here. I just want to keep lapping. This is great fun. Oh! Really forgiving there. I went way too fast into that. This is so pliable. This is... Many sim racers are going to go, well, this car's way too easy to drive. It's far too forgiving. And I would say, well, possibly, but possibly not. I'd rather have a car that's forgiving that you can push than a car that's unforgiving that forces you to drive as if you're playing Guitar Hero with bees sellotaped to each button, you know. Oh, I love this track. Is it track slash public road slash tarmac through German forest and hillsides? Oh no, phone mast! Oh, it sticks to the ground there, no launching, that's nice. You can still feel, as you go over the bumps and undulations, the force feedback lighten up nicely. The car getting lighter as it wants to lift off the ground. But it did stay to the ground, which is always handy. Be brave. Is there such a thing in a simulator? The consequences? There are none. In real life, and if you ever ran this in real life, the consequences are pretty dire. Even if you're doing the Toyswagen, I mean, first of all, your brakes are probably going to die before the end of a single lap. Then you've got motorcyclists that are not only trying to kill themselves repeatedly, but you have them trying to overtake you, and you know, a motorcyclist is practically invisible when you look in your mirror. The consequences are much worse in real life and somewhat add to the tension of driving around this. In a simulator, it's a walk in the park. This is, you know, but that's nice. You get to enjoy the sort of handling, flow, general experience, but with none of the real world pressure. And that's why sim racing is so relaxing. Come on. See, this car's now egging me on to push because it's so gripped. It's like, oh, you were too easy the previous lap. What are you doing to me, mate? Push me harder. It's not really snappy though. This car, it's so the back end comes out very, very catchably. Very, very. This would be a very good beginner car. I'd almost say this has a kind of. It's weird. It's like. This feels less like an AC car, more like something in between R Factor 2 and sort of a Project Cars 2 feel to it. That's mostly from the... that sort of force feedback feel that it has. I mean, it's not snappy like Project Cars 2, and it's not as bumpy through the force feedback or attacky as R Factor 2. But it I don't know. There's something strange, but it's drivable, so I don't care. Oh no, we're back to the hill. Stick it in fifth. Keep a foot down through that. I quite like when you come off the accelerator in this and then jab back on it. You get that attacking of the sound. That's very satisfying. Sounds like this car might have a motorbike engine in it, which is quite common for. Well, the Radical has a motorbike engine, I believe. I was going to say it's quite common for prototypes, but I don't actually know. It was just me saying that based off the Radical. But the tone of it sounds more like a motorbike engine as opposed to your standard car engine. Glide it up through there. Whoa, we got a little bit understeer, mid-corner. Oh! Oh, it's so nice making little mid-corner adjustments. And just trying to get the car on that ideal line, but it's struggling a bit to keep on it. Again, makes you feel like it, you know, you've got to attack it. The car's not going to kill you. This car is super forgiving. As I said earlier, definitely, if you're looking for something that's easy to drive and still exciting, this is a good candidate. Let's try and really hook it up through here. Let's not mow the lawn this time. Really nice flow to this section of the track. Got the right-hander up there, slope, and then wide into this. Not quite. That wasn't ideal. It's very zen driving these types of cars in VR. I think race driving in VR is just very zen. You kind of just zone out as you get into the flow of the track and enjoy the way everything's moving, the monotonous tone of the engine. And in iRacing, the screaming of other people that have crashed into each other. Nothing quite as relaxing as sim racing. Right, final few corners and we're bogging down here. TotalWrongGearRatio.com. Bilstein. But hey, you know, this is a totally free mod car. So, well worth giving it a bash. That'll be £3,000 for the Armco there. I've dinted the car. That's it. Written it off. Racing career over. Final thoughts. Absolutely fantastic car. Like all these prototypes, they're just beautiful. We should get rid of every other vehicle and just have Radicals, MCRs, and now the Norma M20 FC. It is worth saying that the car is in beta, and BE Modding will obviously keep working on it, especially with Alex Cascatau banging him on the head with a broken gear lever from his real car. So it's only going to get better. Totally free, so you can't complain anyway. To get the car, use the link in the description. You have to sign up to their Facebook, and then they give you a download link. And they might have a direct download link at some point, which if they do, I will publish that under the video as well. But that's it. That is it, ladies and gentlemen and gorgeous Polish sporty DD girls. Thank you very much for watching this. Remember, you can like and subscribe. You might enjoy our flight sim video around the Nordschleife if you want to look at this track from the air. I'll link that in the related video, so check that out if you want to see that. But until the next one, happy tea drinking, happy sim racing, and goodbye.